Believe bigger, achieve greater is more than just a phrase. It is a reminder that the size of your belief shapes the size of your achievement. Life has a way of testing us, challenging us, and making us question our worth. But every great achievement begins with someone daring to believe in something larger than their circumstances, larger than their doubts, and larger than the limitations the world tries to impose on them. When you believe small, you shrink your potential. You let fear dictate what you can and cannot do. But when you believe bigger, when you give yourself permission to dream without boundaries, you open the door to possibilities that once seemed impossible. Belief is not just about having hope, it is about having conviction. It is about telling yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, and I will rise, no matter how high the climb or how steep the road. Think about the greatest inventors, leaders, athletes, and change-makers in history. None of them started with certainty. They started with belief. They chose to see opportunity where others saw obstacles. They chose to hold on to faith when others let go. That belief became their fuel, and that fuel propelled them toward greatness. What separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is not talent alone. It is the size of their vision and the courage to pursue it relentlessly. Achieving greater requires sacrifice. It requires waking up on days when you don't feel like moving forward and still choosing progress. It requires discipline when distractions surround you, resilience when failure knocks at your door, and determination when doubt tries to silence your confidence. Success doesn't belong to the strongest or the smartest alone. It belongs to those who are willing to believe bigger and keep moving until their belief transforms into reality. Doubt will always whisper that you are not ready, not good enough, or not capable. Fear will always try to hold you hostage, making you question your dreams. But belief is louder than doubt, stronger than fear, and more powerful than any setback. The moment you shift your mindset from, maybe I can, to, I will, you start walking in the direction of greatness. You start creating momentum that no one can take away from you. Believing bigger doesn't mean the journey will be easy. It means you accept the challenges as part of your growth. It means you trust the process, even when progress feels slow. It means you keep your eyes fixed on the bigger picture, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to achieving greater. Growth happens when you dare to stretch beyond your comfort zone, and achievement comes when you refuse to stop, even when the path feels endless. You hold within you the power to accomplish far more than you imagine. Every dream planted in your heart has the potential to bloom if you water it with belief, action, and persistence. The world doesn't need smaller dreams, it needs bigger believers. People who are willing to rise, to lead, and to inspire others with their courage. When you choose to believe bigger, you don't just transform your own life, you light the way for others to believe in themselves too. So today, ask yourself, are you believing small or believing big? Are you holding yourself back, or are you daring to see how far you can really go? Your life is a reflection of your belief. If you want to achieve greater, you must first expand your vision, strengthen your faith, and decide that you are capable of more. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop doubting the strength you already carry. Stand tall, believe bigger, and walk boldly toward the future you deserve. Because in the end, greatness isn't reserved for the few. It is claimed by those who believe in it. And if you believe bigger, there is no doubt you will achieve greater. The size of your belief determines the size of your achievement. Everything you have accomplished or ever will accomplish begins first in your mind. Your thoughts shape your attitude shapes your actions, and your actions shape your results. When you believe small, you place invisible walls around your own potential. You limit what you can achieve, not because you are incapable, but because you have convinced yourself that you are. Belief is the foundation of greatness. It is the seed that determines the height of the tree. A small seed of doubt produces small outcomes, but a large seed of faith, nurtured and protected, grows into achievements far beyond what you once thought possible. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not always the most skilled, the most educated, or the most connected. Many times, they are the ones who dared to believe that they could. They stretched their vision beyond what others told them was possible. They chose to see opportunity in the face of obstacles and dared to dream of results that seemed too big for others to imagine. That is why the size of your belief sets the limit on the size of your success. When you truly believe in something, you unleash a force inside you that refuses to quit until that belief turns into reality. Belief acts as a compass in life. If you set your belief small, you will only walk a small distance, settling for mediocrity and safety. But when your belief is large, your compass points you toward uncharted territory where growth and greatness lie. You may not see the entire path, but your belief tells you that you can walk it step by step. Think of an athlete who believes they can win a championship. Their belief pushes them to train harder, to endure longer, and to rise again after defeats. Without that belief, no amount of skill or practice would be enough, because doubt would destroy them before their opponent ever could. The same principle applies to your own journey. If you wake up each day telling yourself you are destined for average results, you will never push yourself beyond the ordinary. But if you wake up declaring that you are capable of more, that belief will shift the way you approach every challenge. It will make you see setbacks not as the end of the road, but as lessons on the way forward. Your achievements will always rise to the level of your belief, never beyond it. That is why it is so important to feed your mind with thoughts of strength, resilience, and possibility. Some people let the world shrink their beliefs. They listen to voices that say, "You can't," "You're not ready," or "It's impossible." Those voices become internalized, and soon their actions match the limits others have placed on them. But the truth is, every person who has achieved greatness has heard those same words. The difference is, they chose to believe bigger. They silenced the noise of doubt and amplified the voice within that whispered, "Yes, you can." They held on to that belief, even when circumstances didn't yet show the evidence, and that faith carried them through until success became visible. Believing bigger doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to be trapped by it. It means seeing beyond the limitations of today and envisioning the possibilities of tomorrow. When you believe bigger, you start to act in alignment with that belief. You take risks that others shy away from. You invest time, energy, and focus into your goals, even when the results are not immediate. That consistency, powered by belief, eventually compounds into achievements that astonish even you. Your belief has the power to unlock hidden potential. You may think you are giving your best effort now, but when you truly believe in something greater, you discover new reserves of strength, creativity, and resilience within you. It is like lifting a heavy weight. You might stop at a certain point because your mind tells you it's your limit. But if your belief says, "I can do one more," you often find that you actually can. The mind gives up long before the body does, and belief is the key to pushing past those mental barriers. Imagine two people facing the same challenge. One believes it's impossible, while the other believes it's possible. Both may have the same abilities, the same resources, and the same opportunities, but their beliefs will take them in completely different directions. The first person will give up at the first sign of resistance because their belief has already told them they cannot win. The second person will keep pushing because their belief has told them that success is on the other side of struggle. That persistence will eventually lead them to achievement, while the first person's doubt will guarantee failure. If you want to achieve greater in life, you must first expand your belief. Stop limiting yourself by what others have achieved or what society says is possible. Believe bigger. Dream of goals that scare you. Set visions that stretch you. Convince yourself that you are capable, even if you don't yet see the evidence. Because the moment you raise the size of your belief, you also raise the ceiling of your achievements. History is full of ordinary people who dared to believe bigger, and in doing so, they achieved greater than anyone thought possible. Your journey begins and ends in the mind. The limits you accept become the limits you live by. but the beliefs you dare to hold become the achievements you ultimately claim. So never shrink your dreams to fit your doubts. Instead, expand your beliefs to fit your destiny, because in the end, the size of your belief truly determines the size of your achievement. Belief fuels action, and action transforms dreams into reality. Every great accomplishment in the world has begun as a dream, an idea in someone's heart and mind that seemed bigger than their circumstances. But a dream without belief remains nothing more than a thought. Belief is what gives that dream life. It becomes the fire that pushes you to take the first step, to endure the difficulties, and to keep moving forward even when progress feels invisible. Without belief, action is hesitant and inconsistent. But when belief is strong, action becomes unstoppable, and it is action, persistent, focused, and relentless, that turns visions into tangible achievements. Belief and action are inseparable partners. Belief without action is wishful thinking, and action without belief is aimless effort. Together, they create transformation. When you believe in your dream, you no longer wait for the perfect moment, you create it. You stop asking if it's possible and begin asking how it can be done. That shift in mindset changes everything. You go from hesitation to motion, from fear to courage, from hoping to achieving. Belief makes you take the risk, and action makes the risk worthwhile. Think of any successful person you admire, an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, a leader. Each of them started with belief. They saw a possibility that no one else did. But what truly set them apart was their willingness to act on that belief every single day. They trained harder, worked longer, and sacrificed comfort to move closer to their vision. It wasn't their dream alone that made them successful. It was their belief that fueled relentless action, and it was that action that transformed their dream into reality. Dreams are fragile in the beginning. They are easily crushed by doubt, criticism, or fear of failure. This is why belief matters so much. Belief acts like a shield that protects your dream in its early stages. It whispers to you, keep going, it's worth it, when others say it can't be done. And as you take consistent action, each step forward strengthens your belief even more. The more you act, the more evidence you create that your dream is possible. Soon, belief and action feed one another in a powerful cycle. Belief fuels action. Action strengthens belief, and together they propel you forward. Action, however, requires courage. It is one thing to believe in a dream privately, and another to step into the world and work for it publicly. Action exposes you to failure, rejection, and obstacles. Yet, without action, belief remains locked inside your mind. This is why so many people live with unfulfilled dreams. They believe, but they never act. They wait for the right time, the right opportunity, or the right level of confidence. What they don't realize is that action creates the right time, action creates opportunity, and action builds confidence. Belief is the spark, but action is the flame that keeps the dream alive. Every step you take toward your dream, no matter how small, matters. Small actions compound into great achievements over time. Writing one page a day eventually becomes a book. Saving a little consistently eventually becomes financial freedom. Training a little harder each day eventually becomes championship performance. The dream itself might feel overwhelming, but when you break it down into small, consistent actions fueled by belief, the impossible becomes possible. Belief also changes the way you act. If you don't truly believe, you will act half-heartedly. You will try once or twice and then give up at the first obstacle. But when belief is strong, your action is persistent. You approach problems with determination instead of defeat. You look for solutions instead of excuses. You get back up every time you fall because your belief tells you that the dream is still worth fighting for. This persistence is what separates those who achieve from those who only wish. It's important to remember that action doesn't guarantee instant results. You may act for weeks, months, or even years before seeing your dream become real. But belief keeps you moving, reminding you that every effort counts. Action transforms dreams into reality, not overnight, but over time. The journey may be long, but the combination of belief and action ensures that you are moving forward, even when progress feels slow. And one day, You will look back and realize that the small, consistent steps you took turned into something extraordinary. The truth is, the gap between where you are and where you want to be is bridged by action. Belief is the engine that fuels you, but it is your willingness to act, to persist, and to endure that builds the bridge. Without belief, you would never start. Without action, you would never finish. Together, they create transformation. Dreams don't come true because you simply believe. They come true because you believe enough to act. So, if you have a dream inside you, nurture it with belief, then breathe life into it with action. Don't wait for conditions to be perfect, because they never will be. Start with what you have, where you are, and let your belief push you into motion. Trust that every action, no matter how small, brings you closer to your vision. With enough belief and enough action, there is nothing that cannot be achieved. Belief fuels action, and action transforms dreams into reality. That is the timeless formula for success, for growth, and for greatness. If you dare to believe bigger and act boldly, you will find yourself achieving greater than you ever imagined. Greatness is not about talent alone. It is about vision and relentless pursuit. Talent is a gift, and it can give you an advantage. But talent by itself has never created lasting greatness. The world is full of talented people who never reached their potential because they lacked the vision to see beyond their abilities and the determination to keep going when things became difficult. Vision gives direction to talent, and relentless pursuit gives it power. Together, they create a force that can achieve extraordinary things. Vision is the ability to see what is possible, even when others see nothing. It is the ability to imagine a future that doesn't yet exist and believe it can be built. Talent can help you perform in the present, but vision allows you to shape the future. Without vision, talent is wasted because it has no clear purpose. Imagine a painter with incredible skill, but no vision for what they want to create. Their brushstrokes may be perfect, but without direction, their art will lack meaning. Now imagine someone with moderate skill, but a powerful vision. Their determination to bring that vision to life will push them to keep practicing, improving, and ultimately producing something that inspires the world. Relentless pursuit is the fuel that drives vision forward. It is not enough to simply dream or to see possibilities. You must be willing to chase them with everything you have. This means showing up on the days when you feel like quitting. It means working when others rest, practicing when others stop, and believing when others doubt. Relentless pursuit is about consistency, choosing to keep moving forward no matter how many obstacles appear. Greatness does not come to those who wait passively. It comes to those who pursue it with relentless energy, even when progress feels slow and results are invisible. The truth is, talent fades when it is not developed, but vision grows stronger when pursued. Someone may start out with less natural ability, but if they have vision and relentless pursuit, they can surpass the one who relied solely on talent. History is filled with stories of people who were underestimated, who were told they weren't skilled enough, smart enough, or capable enough, but who went on to achieve greatness because they refused to stop pursuing their vision. Their relentless drive turned weakness into strength and limitations into victories. Vision also keeps you focused when distractions appear. In a world filled with noise, criticism, and endless opportunities to give up, vision reminds you of why you started. It becomes your compass, guiding your actions and decisions. Relentless pursuit is what keeps you on that path, ensuring that no matter how far the finish line may seem, you keep putting one foot in front of the other. Talent may win you recognition for a moment, but vision and persistence build legacies that last long after the applause fades. Consider athletes who rise to the top. Many of them are not the most naturally gifted, but they are the ones who refuse to stop training, who keep pushing beyond exhaustion, and who visualize victory long before it arrives. Their greatness comes from a combination of seeing what others cannot see and working harder than others are willing to work. In business, in art, in leadership, and in life, the story is the same. Talent may open the door, but vision and relentless pursuit are what keep you inside the room and allow you to create impact. Relentless pursuit also transforms failure into fuel. When you rely on talent alone, failure feels final because it challenges your natural ability. But when you rely on vision and pursuit, failure becomes part of the process. Every setback is seen as a lesson, every obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger. This mindset ensures that you keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. Greatness is never achieved without failure. It is achieved because of the lessons learned from failure and the relentless decision to rise again. The combination of vision and relentless pursuit makes you unstoppable. Vision helps you dream bigger than your current circumstances, and pursuit ensures that you keep going until those dreams are real. You don't have to be the most talented to be great. You have to be the most committed. You have to see what others don't see and refuse to quit when others do. That is what separates the truly great from the rest. So, if you want to achieve greatness, don't worry about whether your talent measures up. Instead, sharpen your vision. Decide what you want, see it clearly in your mind, and commit to it with every fiber of your being. Then, pursue it relentlessly. Show up every day, put in the work, and refuse to let failure, fear, or fatigue stop you. Over time, your vision will pull you forward, your pursuit will keep you going, and together they will take you to heights that talent alone could never reach. Greatness is not about talent alone. It is about vision and relentless pursuit. Talent may be where you start, but vision and persistence are what determine where you finish. If you dare to see beyond the present and chase your vision with relentless energy, you will achieve more than you ever thought possible. Talent may set the stage, but it is vision and pursuit that write the script of greatness. Doubt and fear are loud, but belief is stronger when you choose it. Every person who has ever chased a dream has faced the deafening voices of doubt and fear. They creep into your mind when you are about to take a leap, whispering reasons why you might fail, why you aren't ready, or why you should stop before you even begin. These voices are loud because they come from a place of self-preservation. Your mind is trying to protect you from disappointment, rejection, or pain. But if you allow them to control you, they will paralyze you and keep you from ever discovering what you are truly capable of. The truth is, doubt and fear will never completely disappear, but belief has the power to rise above them if you make the choice to hold on to it. Belief is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. Too often people wait for fear to go away before they take action, but fear rarely goes away on its own. It must be overpowered by belief. When you believe in your purpose, in your strength, and in your vision for the future, you give yourself a weapon that is louder and stronger than the voice of fear. Belief tells you that even though the road is uncertain, you are capable of walking it. It tells you that even though mistakes may happen, you have the ability to rise again. Think about a time when you were nervous about stepping into something new, maybe a job, an exam, or a challenge you had never faced before. Doubt probably screamed that you weren't ready. Fear might have warned you of all the ways it could go wrong. Yet, if you chose to believe in yourself enough to take the step, you discovered strength you didn't know you had. The situation didn't change because doubt and fear vanished. It changed because belief gave you the courage to act. That is the power of choosing belief. It transforms the impossible into possible, not by removing fear, but by refusing to bow to it. Doubt and fear often disguise themselves as logic. They sound convincing because they remind you of your past mistakes or highlight your weaknesses. But belief looks beyond what is and sees what can be. Doubt says, "What if you fail?" Belief replies, "What if you succeed?" Fear says, "You don't have what it takes." Belief answers, "I can learn, grow, and rise." The moment you decide to side with belief, you change the conversation happening inside your mind. You begin to focus on possibilities instead of limitations, on opportunities instead of obstacles. The most successful people in history were not those who never felt fear, but those who chose belief over fear. Innovators who created breakthroughs were often told their ideas were impossible. Leaders who changed the course of history faced opposition, ridicule, and immense pressure. Yet, what separated them from the rest was not a lack of fear, but an abundance of belief. They chose to believe in something greater than their doubts, and that belief gave them the courage to keep moving. Fear has a way of magnifying failure in your imagination. It paints worst-case scenarios so vividly that they feel real before they ever happen. But belief has the opposite effect. It magnifies hope, resilience, and possibility. It gives you the vision to see yourself succeeding before it happens, which in turn fuels the persistence needed to keep going. Choosing belief is like turning up the volume on hope until it drowns out the noise of fear. It is important to understand that belief is not something you stumble upon. It is a choice you make daily. You may wake up some mornings with doubt pressing heavily on your heart, with fear reminding you of every reason to quit. On those days, belief is a deliberate decision, a conscious effort to say, I choose to trust myself. I choose to trust the process. I choose to move forward, even if I'm scared. This daily choice to believe becomes a habit, and that habit becomes strength. Over time, belief becomes louder than fear, not because fear has disappeared, but because you have trained yourself to stop listening to it. Choosing belief also requires courage in the face of uncertainty. The truth is, you will never have all the answers before you start. You will never have guarantees. Fear thrives on uncertainty, but belief embraces it. Belief says, even if I don't know the outcome, I trust that I will figure it out along the way. This mindset frees you from the prison of hesitation and gives you the courage to take bold action. And it is only through action that dreams become reality. You cannot silence doubt and fear completely, but you can refuse to give them power. They may shout loudly, but they cannot stop you unless you listen. Belief, on the other hand, may start as a quiet voice within, but when you nurture it, feed it with positive action, and protect it from negativity, it grows stronger and louder. It becomes the driving force that keeps you moving through storms, setbacks, and struggles. Every great achievement will require you to choose belief again and again. At the start of your journey, at the midpoint, when progress seems slow, and even at the peak when fear tells you that you're not ready for the next level. Each time you choose belief, you strengthen your resolve. Each time you act on belief, you weaken the grip of fear. So remember, doubt and fear may be loud, but they are not in control. You are. And when you make the conscious choice to believe in your dreams, in your abilities, in your resilience, you will discover that belief is always stronger. It will push you to act when fear says stand still. It will inspire you to keep going when doubt says give up. And it will lead you to achievements far beyond what fear ever allowed you to imagine. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to greater achievements. Too often, people get discouraged because they measure progress only in big leaps and dramatic milestones. They forget that greatness is rarely built overnight. Instead, it is the product of countless small steps, taken with consistency and persistence. Every major victory you see, the finished book, the successful business, the athletic triumph, the personal transformation, was once a series of tiny, seemingly insignificant actions that compounded over time. When you understand this, you realize that no step forward is wasted, no effort too small, and no action meaningless. We live in a world that celebrates the finish line, but often overlooks the journey. Society praises the result, but rarely acknowledges the grind behind it. The early mornings, the late nights, the countless failures, and the small but steady improvements. This mindset can discourage you because when you look at your own progress, it may feel too slow or too minor compared to the big achievements of others. But the truth is, every great accomplishment is simply the accumulation of many small victories. Each step you take forward, even when it feels invisible, is laying the foundation for the greater achievements to come. Think of climbing a mountain. If you stand at the bottom and stare at the peak, the climb looks impossible. The distance seems overwhelming, the path too steep. But if you focus only on the next step, and then the next, eventually you find yourself higher than you imagined. Each small step, though it seems insignificant at the time, carries you closer to the summit. In life, it is the same. Progress is built step by step, and every step forward counts. The power of small steps lies in their consistency. Taking one small action may not change your life in a day, but taking that action daily will transform your life over time. Writing a few hundred words each day eventually becomes a finished manuscript. Saving a little money consistently grows into financial security. Exercising for a few minutes regularly builds strength, endurance, and health. The key is not the size of the step, but the commitment to keep stepping forward. Success is less about intensity and more about consistency. One of the greatest enemies of progress is impatience. People want results immediately, and when they don't see them, they assume their efforts don't matter. They quit before the seeds they planted have time to grow. But success is like planting a tree. You don't see fruit overnight. You must water it, protect it, and give it time to take root. Those daily acts of care may seem small, but together they create the conditions for growth. Similarly, every step you take toward your dream is like watering your tree. Even when you don't see the results yet, the roots of your success are growing stronger beneath the surface. It's also important to remember that progress doesn't always move in a straight line. Sometimes you will stumble, fall, or even feel like you've taken steps backward. But even in those moments, you are still moving forward if you choose to learn from the experience. Failure is not wasted effort. It is a step in disguise. Every setback teaches you something, builds resilience, and prepares you for the greater challenges ahead. When you rise after falling, that rise itself is a step forward. Small steps also help you overcome fear. Big goals can feel intimidating because they seem so far away. But when you break them down into small, achievable steps, they become less frightening and more manageable. Instead of saying, "I need to run a marathon," you say, "Today I will run 1 mile." Instead of saying, "I need to change my entire life," you say, "Today I will take one positive action." These small commitments build confidence, and that confidence grows with each step you take. Eventually, the small victories accumulate into major achievements. Every step forward also strengthens belief. At first, belief may feel fragile, easily shaken by doubt or fear. But each step you take, no matter how small, gives you proof that you are capable. Every action reinforces the idea that progress is possible. Over time, your belief grows stronger, and with stronger belief comes even bolder action. This cycle of action and belief creates unstoppable momentum that propels you toward greater achievements. Think about a sculptor working with a block of stone. Each strike of the chisel removes only a tiny piece, but with enough strikes, the block transforms into a masterpiece. To an outsider, the progress may seem invisible at first, but the sculptor knows that every small strike matters. Your journey is no different. Each step forward, even if no one notices, is shaping you, preparing you, and bringing you closer to your masterpiece. Greatness is not about giant leaps, but about faithful, consistent steps. The people who achieve extraordinary success are not always the ones who move the fastest. They are the ones who refuse to stop moving. They know that even when progress feels slow, they are still advancing. They trust the process, understanding that small steps compound into extraordinary outcomes. So do not despise the small steps. Do not underestimate the power of small progress. Celebrate each step forward, because each one carries you closer to your dream. The road to greatness is long, but the distance is covered one step at a time. Your responsibility is not to conquer the whole journey in a day, but to take the step that is in front of you today. If you keep doing that day after day, you will wake up one day and realize that you have achieved far more than you ever thought possible. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to greater achievements. Keep stepping, keep believing, keep moving, because greatness is not built in a moment. It is built in the countless steps you choose to take along the way. Believing bigger not only transforms your life, but also inspires others to rise. When you dare to dream beyond limitations, when you choose to see yourself not as you are, but as you could be, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own journey. Belief is contagious. It has the power to light fires in people who may have forgotten their own strength, to awaken hope in those who feel defeated, and to remind others that greatness is within reach if they choose to believe in something greater than their fear. The first transformation that comes from believing bigger is within yourself. When you choose to believe in a vision larger than your current circumstances, you immediately change the way you see the world. Obstacles that once felt like walls now appear as stepping stones. Setbacks no longer feel like dead ends, but become lessons guiding you toward growth. Your energy, your mindset, and your actions align with your bigger belief, and that alignment begins to produce change. You act differently, speak differently, and carry yourself differently because you are driven by a vision larger than where you are today. But the true beauty of believing bigger is that it never stays contained within just one person. People notice when someone dares to live boldly. They notice the courage it takes to step out when others choose to play safe. They see the persistence in your actions, the resilience in your attitude, and the fire in your spirit. And something inside them begins to awaken. Your belief becomes permission for them to believe too. Your story becomes evidence that dreams are not just fantasies, but possibilities that can be reached through faith and action. Think about the individuals throughout history who inspired millions, not because they were perfect, but because they believed in something bigger than themselves. Martin Luther King Jr. believed in equality when society said it was impossible. His belief not only transformed his own path, but ignited a movement that inspired generations. Nelson Mandela believed in freedom and justice even after decades of imprisonment, and his belief lifted an entire nation. These examples show us that when you believe bigger, your courage creates a spark that others can see, and that spark can turn into a flame that lights up the world. Even outside of history, in everyday life, the same principle applies. A parent who believes in their children's potential plants seeds of confidence in them. A teacher who believes in a struggling student can inspire that student to see their own worth. A leader who believes in their team can push them to reach levels of performance they didn't think possible. Believing bigger is never just about you. It's about the lives you touch, the people you encourage, and the impact you create through your example. The world is filled with people who are weighed down by doubt and fear. Many are waiting for proof before they believe, waiting for someone to show them that dreams can actually come true. When you choose to believe bigger and act on that belief, you become that proof. You show others that it is possible to rise above circumstances, to overcome struggles, and to achieve the extraordinary. You don't have to give speeches or write books to inspire others. Your life itself becomes the message. Your consistency, your progress, and your willingness to keep moving forward despite challenges become a silent encouragement for others who are watching. It's important to remember that you don't have to be in a position of fame or authority to inspire others. Your belief can influence your family, your friends, your colleagues, and even strangers. Sometimes someone may be watching you quietly, drawing strength from the way you handle your battles. They may never tell you, but your choice to believe bigger might be the very thing that gives them the courage to take their own step forward. This is why it matters so much not to shrink your belief, because it isn't only about your destiny, it's also about the people who are connected to your journey. Believing bigger also creates a cycle of empowerment. When you inspire others to rise, they in turn inspire even more people. Your single decision to believe in something greater than your limitations has the potential to create a chain reaction of hope and courage. Imagine what happens when one person in a community chooses to believe in change. Then others begin to follow, and soon an entire movement begins. It all starts with one person daring to believe bigger. The transformation that comes from bigger belief is not just external success, but internal growth. You become stronger, more resilient, and more courageous. And as you grow, you show others what is possible when they refuse to settle for less. Your life becomes a testimony that fear does not have the final say and that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they align belief with action. So, when you feel doubt creeping in, remember that your belief is not just about you. It is about the people you may never meet, but will inspire, the lives you may never realize you touched, and the hope you may never know you gave. Choosing to believe bigger is a responsibility. It is saying yes not only to your own future, but also to the possibility of lifting others higher through your example. Believing bigger not only transforms your life, but also inspires others to rise. It gives you the strength to push past limits and the courage to chase what once felt impossible. More importantly, it lights a path for others, showing them that they too can rise, they too can believe, and they too can achieve. And when you inspire others to rise, your impact multiplies far beyond what you could ever achieve alone. That is the true power of believing bigger. It creates transformation within you and hope in the hearts of those around you.